everyone, and good evening. Welcome to the Linglobe channel. This time, we'll be bringing you content about preserving the world's languages for the future. Please enjoy it to the end.
Linglove voice. Imagine for a second that you're looking at a map of Western Europe.
Okay, I've got it in my head.
Right. So you probably assume everything there is, entirely mapped out and completely understood, neatly categorized into distinct national boxes.
Sure, France is France, Spain is Spain.
Exactly. But right there, tucked between these major modern borders, is a mystery that completely defies all of those neat categories. Today, Linglove's Wrench, we are exploring Europe's most unique indigenous culture.
Oh, this is a fantastic topic.
It really is. And the very first slide in our materials sets our mission perfectly. It's titled The Basque People, Europe's Oldest Fortress of Culture. We're going on a quick cinematic journey to unlock the mystery of the Euskaldunak, the Basque people.
To really find out how this ancient cultural fortress has managed to, stand its ground in the 21st century.
Yeah, exactly. Which brings us to our next slide, titled A Homeland Between Mountains and Sea. Because you really can't understand this fortress without seeing where it's actually built.
No, you can't. Geography is absolute destiny here. Yuskull Herria, or the Basque country, is defined by this incredibly dramatic setting.
Yeah, you look at the pictures and it's not just a flat plain. It's this really rugged collision where dense mountainous terrain drops just like aggressively into these rich coastal environments along the Bay of Biscay.
Right, and what's fascinating is how this homeland is sliced in half by modern international borders. In the north, sitting in France, you have three historic provinces. That's Labourd, Sol, and Lower Navarre.
And then in the south, in Spain, you have the Basque Autonomous Community, and that wraps in Vizcaya, Gipuzkoa, and Álava, plus the totally separate region of Navarre.
Exactly. So you have a single people sandwiched between two major European powers, France and Spain, yet historically they were cut off from both by these massive peaks and the ocean.
So the environment literally built the walls that protected them.
Yeah, and that isolation is the very mechanism that protected their most baffling mystery. They just didn't get culturally absorbed by the Roman Empire or the later kingdoms like their neighbors did.
Which brings us perfectly to our third slide, the Enigma of Euskara. And honestly, when I was looking at the linguistic family trees provided here, I was genuinely amazed.
It's wild, isn't it?
It is, because Euskara, the Basque language, is a language isolate. Linguists have found zero confirmed relationships to any other living language family on Earth.
None. It is a complete linguistic marvel. To put that in perspective for you, almost every language in Europe, French, Spanish, English, German, they are all distant cousins on one massive Indo-European family tree.
But Euskara isn't on that tree at all.
Nope. It predates the arrival of Indo-European languages in Western Europe entirely. It's believed to be descended from the ancient Aquitanian language, meaning it was spoken there before the Romans even thought about building an empire.
So while the rest of Europe's languages grew from the same soil, Euskara is just sitting there in its own separate planter box.
Right, but what's so impressive is that it's not some dead language. Today, they have a unified standard called Euskara Batua, which was developed in the 60s to bridge regional dialects.
And it's spoken by, around 750,000 people now?
Exactly. And it's fiercely promoted in schools and media today.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's not just that the language survived, it's how it actually functions compared to the languages we know. And that is covered in the slide, The Mechanics of an Ancient Tongue.
Oh, the grammar is just fascinating.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
Euskara uses what linguists call an agglutination engine. So the way I understand it, instead of throwing separate prepositions into a sentence like in or with, like we do in English, it's like snapping multiple Lego bricks onto a single root word to build these complex concepts.
That is the perfect analogy. You are physically building the word layer by layer, and it operates on a completely gender-neutral design.
So no masculine or feminine nouns like in Spanish?
Absolutely none. Nouns and pronouns do not distinguish between gender, and it uses a strict subject-object-verb order, so the action always comes at the very end.
Right, but I need you to explain this next part. The slide mentions an ergative absolutive system. And it says it has over 14 grammatical cases where transitive and intransitive verbs behave differently. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, that sounds like a mathematical nightmare. But let's use English to make it simple. If you say, I sleep versus I hit the ball, the word I stays exactly the same.
Right. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm still just I.
Well, in Basque, the word you use for the subject actually changes its shape entirely, depending on whether you're just doing something on your own, like sleeping, or doing something to an object, like hitting a ball.
Wait, really? So the subject itself transforms?
Exactly. It forces you to be hyper-aware of your relationship to your environment and the actions you're taking.
Wow, and this distinct identity doesn't just sound different, it has a totally unique visual footprint too, which we can see on the next slide, the Art of Vasca.
What's fascinating here is how this typography acts as a visual voice. Even though Euskara is written using the standard 27-letter Latin alphabet, it heavily relies on digraphs.
Right, like combining two letters to make one sound.
Yeah, you'll see words packed with TX for a cheese sound, or T.
And you can instantly recognize the font anywhere you go in the region. The design signatures are so striking. You've got these flat-topped A's, really heavy proportions, and these aggressively flared, curled stroke endings.
And it looks that way because it was originally inspired by ancient stone carvings on traditional monuments. So today, that specific typography ensures the font itself is communicating their heritage.
Even on, like, a random street sign.
Exactly.
And that typography is just one piece of a much larger visual identity, which leads us straight to the slide, symbols of the Basque soul. The materials highlight three main symbols.
The most prominent is definitely the Ikurriña, the Basque flag. It has a striking red background representing the people, a white cross for their Catholic heritage, and a green saltire, a diagonal cross for their ancient laws and freedom.
Yeah, it's a beautiful flag. And then you have the Lobaru, which is that four-armed swirled cross. You see it carved into doors everywhere, and it represents life, balance, eternity, and protection.
And we can't forget the Boina.
Ah, the classic Basque beret.
Right. It's way more than just a hat. It marks their rural history and profound cultural pride.
But honestly, as cool as the symbols are, the ultimate expression of that cultural pride is what is on their plates.
Oh, without a doubt.
I have been waiting for this next slide titled, A Culinary Masterpiece.
The food culture is legendary. They refer to it as the bounty. Because of that geography we talked about, it's a perfect marriage of mountain and sea.
Right, so you've got incredible seafood, rich meats, artisanal cheese, wine.
And you cannot talk about Basque food without talking about pinzas.
Yes. For anyone who doesn't know, these aren't just normal Spanish tapas. They are these elaborate, towering culinary creations, usually served on a piece of bread in these lively bars. It's a hugely social way of eating.
And it's given them massive global fame. I mean, Basque chefs are internationally celebrated for their salted cod dishes, their mastery of charcoal grilled ingredients, and of course, the famous burnt Basque cheesecake.
Oh man, with the caramelized top and the gooey center.
It's culinary perfection.
It really is. But historically, the calories from all that rich food were burned off through intense, grueling physical labor. And incredibly, that labor evolved into something spectacular, which we see on the slide, Herri Kirolak, the roots of rural sports.
Yeah, Herri Kirolak translates directly to rural sports. They didn't invent abstract games with balls and nets. These sports evolved directly from historical, everyday farming, forestry, and maritime labor.
So instead of inventing a game, they literally just took chopping wood and made it competitive.
Exactly. And the values here are key. These are celebrations of physical strength, endurance, and community cooperation. You see them played everywhere, from small village festivals to the massive San Fermin festival.
But what do these tests actually look like? Let's go to the slide titled Tests of Endurance and Teamwork. Now, I have to push back a little here.
Oh.
Yeah, because I look at something like Trixinga Aramatea, where a person is carrying massive 50-kilogram weights in each hand. Are things like that just about showing off machismo, or is there a deeper community purpose?
I get why you'd ask that, but it's really about community. These were essential agricultural tasks. And when you look at Sokatira, the 8-on-8 tug of war, it demands perfect synchronization.
So it's not just brute force.
No, it's about a community moving as one unified engine, which was historically the difference between surviving a brutal winter or starving.
Ah, okay. That makes total sense. And the slide also mentions Segalaritza, which is high-speed grass scything, and Giza Bear Proback.
Right. Those are animal-powered sled races with oxen, which highlight that deep historical bond between humans and animals.
Fascinating. But while those sports dominate the rural fields, if you walk into town, you'll see a different arena entirely. This is on our next slide. Basque Pelota, the iconic court game.
Oh, Pelota is incredibly fast-paced and high-intensity. You strike a hard ball against a large front wall.
And the slide emphasizes the heart of the town. It says the court, or the fronton, isn't just a sports facility.
No, it's structurally integrated into the town, serving as the architectural and social centerpiece of Basque villages. It has a huge international legacy, inspiring games like Jaya Lai.
Wow. Okay, so seeing this tight-knit culture raises an important modern question. Let's look at the slide titled, Defining the Homeland, Culture versus Politics. So what does this all mean when we try to define who's actually Basque today?
It's a complex Venn diagram. You have the broad Basque cultural region, Euskal Herria, which spans all 7 historical territories across France and Spain.
But the political reality is different.
Right. The modern Basque Autonomous Community, or BAC, is a political entity within Spain consisting of just 3 of those territories, Álava, Vizcaya, and Gipuzkoa.
And crucially, the slide clarifies that political status there is based on legal residence and migration. It's not just ethnic ancestry.
Exactly, making it a highly diverse contemporary society.
But governing that diverse society requires a unique setup, which we see on the slide, a framework for the future.
The modern structure has 3 pillars. First, equal representation. The Basque Parliament grants equal territorial representation to those 3 BAC territories, prioritizing historical balance over just population size.
Oh, nice. And the second?
Fiscal autonomy. They have strong authority to regulate their own tax systems. And third is protecting Euskara.
Right. It has co-official status with Spanish, and the slide mentions it's booming in bilingual education and media.
Which is incredible for language preservation.
It really is. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway about this ancient culture in the 21st century on our final slide, the enduring spirit of Yuskull Herria.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the Basque people are a living legacy. They aren't a prehistoric relic, they are a forward-looking society.
And they have a huge global impact too, right?
Absolutely. They thrive, not just at home, but through a massive diaspora in the Americas. Through autonomy and language revitalization, the fortress holds.
It's just a brilliant example of a culture adapting while keeping its soul completely intact. Thank you so much for exploring this with us today.
Thank you for watching until the end. We will continue to bring you many more languages from around the world. Please subscribe to our channel. See you next time on the Ling Globe channel.